Good noon, everybody. It's Monday again. Would you believe that? First Monday in August, August 7th. Here we go. Like more than half the year is gone because this is episode, if you're keeping count, 32. 32 weeks we've been doing this. It's the days are going by like minutes. The weeks are going by like days, and the months are going by like weeks. It's just nuts. I don't know. Somebody seems to have turned everything up.
It's because we're getting old.
Oh, no, we're seasoned. We're well seasoned.
That's the topic for the day, seasoned.
Seasoned. Let's see who's joined us. Hold on a second here. We've got to go the other way. Oh, there's a whole bunch of people. Oh gosh, and we've got a new viewer as well. I can see that nicely. So actually more than that. Oh goodness. All right, shout out then first off. Our early bird for today was Sean of the New Day. Hey Sean, how you doing? And then we got Cass and we got Anna and Gilda. And hello, welcome to the channel. Erica, please become a channel member. It's really good stuff. We've got Gilda, we got Wendy, and happy Monday everyone, says Erica. Well, happy Monday to you too.
Happy Monday everyone.
It's nuts. So listen, I can tell straight off that there's an immediate disparity that must be corrected by you folks out in viewerland.
Viewers versus likes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need to be mashing that like button. It's really not hard. It will take but a second of your time. So mash that like button if you would be so kind, because it does help the algorithm make us less of a well-kept secret, which is what we're trying to do. We have an agenda.
We have so much potential.
We do.
We just have to get you guys to help us tap into that.
It's like the Knight of Pentacles.
How do you get found?
Yeah,
Unless
we're
you
sat
kick
there.
your horse.
Yeah, we could put the spurs to the horse a bit. I think that might be the idea. But that ploughed field that goes off both sides of the card, so much potential here. So help us realise that potential out in viewerland, if you will. Tell your friends, invite some people to this channel, do all that fun stuff. Anyway, what are we going to talk about today? Because you're saying I mentioned seasons. You mentioned seasons.
Yes, I said that's what we're going to talk about today.
Well, there you go then. Sounds
right?
good. Let's dive in.
In the craft, we celebrate 8 Sabbats.
We do.
Right? And we call it the Wheel of the Year.
Mm.
And we're always reminding people that they're not just 8 separate holidays with no connection to each other.
Mm.
That they're actually the cycles and the turning of the seasons. So they're each about 6 weeks long or so, because 6 times 8 is 48 and there's 52 weeks. But, it's give or take the number of days. But
which are going by like minutes.
Yes. So these Sabbats each kind of have a different theme, and they're either connected to the god or the goddess, and they talk about the cycles of nature itself, right? Whether it's as the Bible says, a time for planting or a time for, time for reaping, a time for sowing, all those.
I think
it was Ecclesiastics, I think.
Maybe, but I think we actually knew about that before the Bible came around.
Well, I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Just putting it out there.
Just saying.
So we could look at these 8 festivals as the gradual kind of energy of nature.
Mm.
And then commonly in the craft and in Muggledom, we look at the 4 seasons, comparing that to the elements, right? You've got spring, summer, fall, and winter.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got those kind of 4 seasons that would be connected to the elements.
Mm.
Air, spring, fire, summer, fall, water, earth, winter. You could look at it that way.
It sort of makes sense to me. I mean, your mileage may vary, but
right.
That kind of makes sense to me. Gilda says she loves the shirts.
Oh, well, that's one of his favorites.
I like this one.
Camo tie-dye.
It's kind of cool, isn't it? Because it's just, I suppose it's all right.
Okay. And then the final way that we would look at the seasons is in a light half and dark half of the year. Right? So air is connected to the east, where the sun rises.
Yep.
Fire connected to the south, the sun's peak of power, the heat of the summer.
Mm.
Water, the fall, connected to the start of the harvest and the actual fall of the crops and, the kind of storing of the seeds.
John Barleycorn must die.
And then winter being the earth kind of dark, bleak, everything hidden under blankets of things.
Hello, Jen.
So if we look at it that way, we would see air and fire connected to the god.
Mm-hmm.
That powerful, growing, projective, emanating kind of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And we would look at the dark half, the fall and winter, connected to the goddess, kind of the going within, the nurturing, the caring for the seeds for survival, and that kind of thing. So we can see that transition now, right? We had Ostara, in bulk Ostara, the light coming back, plant the seeds, take care of the garden, get things going, be very...
Grow.
Yeah, be very active and that kind of thing. And then Aust or Lunisad, that happens at 15 degrees Leo, so we're kind of in that
Would
stage
be
now.
about right now, actually, because it's like August 7th, isn't it? So we're pretty much 15 degrees right now.
Which commonly most pagans would celebrate on the 1st or 2nd of August.
They do, yeah. Well,
Across from them, that's another whole
same with Imbolc. They tend to pick a date rather than the actual
astronomical time.
the true cross quarter, so to speak. Yeah.
So if we looked at things in black and white, the light half of the year is considered white or godly, and the dark half of the year is more the hidden from us, or the nighttime, the dark time, which the goddess and the moon is the sun's reflection. So you can start to see how these things are worked out.
They sort of tie in, don't they? Yeah.
But we're coming into that
tween
time, the time of gray, right? Where the god is giving the ultimate sacrifice and returning to the seeds. And I always kind of, don't look up. I always try to look at things, and it's Lunisad or Aust produces very gray skies.
It's grey today, that's for sure. It very much is. Yeah.
That blending of the times, that grey time, and we'll see it again near Mabon. You get the kind of like, I guess, nature's warning that the sun is waning and it's time to think about, have you preserved enough of your strength and energy to last over the winter.
Well, the next Sabbath, Alban Isla, the dark overcomes the light. It's a time of balance.
It's a time of balance, but it's definitely the height of water, the time for the seeds.
The waters of the womb,
Alban Elvid.
particularly.
Alban Elvid, not Eiler.
Did I say Eiler? I'm
did,
so sorry.
It's okay. No.
I've gone completely the wrong side of the year there. Yes.
All
Forgive
right.
me.
So, all that as our preamble.
Yes.
As good witches all, let us think about our connection to what's happening, right? Because basically how all of this developed or came to be was the basic need to fit in and survive.
Yeah.
Right? If we planted at the wrong time, we weren't going to get a harvest. And if we harvested at the wrong time, we weren't going to get any seeds for the next spring. So think about how you are in sync. Who's Savannah?
Yes, it is. Hello, Savannah. Yes.
Think about how are you in sync? What are you doing right now compared to what nature is doing right now? Now, I understand some people may be watching from other parts of the world, and that's fine. You can still look outside and observe what's going on.
I wonder if we do have anybody from Australia.
I don't know.
I know sometimes.
But if you think about it, we said this. We had 3 different opportunities to talk about Gwaalaust. So you look out and you can see the leaves starting to look a little tired.
Weary. I think weary would be that, isn't it?
The leaves. They
there's
they
that
know.
little bit of yellowing,
And what are they doing? They're preparing for the time of Earth. So as we get more towards that deeper mystical time of year, all the plants that are going to not just give you seeds, but they're actually perennials. They're going to put all of their power down into the roots, right? They know they can't survive up in the light.
Yeah.
They can't deal with what the weather is going to be there. But deep in the earth, they can then spring forth in the spring.
So it like the plant itself sort of retracts to the underworld, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It like, because if you think about it in the spring when the sap is rising and all this fun stuff and things are bursting out, this is the time when there's a frost coming. Ultimately, there's a frost coming, and that will kill the plant unless the plant itself takes some action to preserve itself by going within.
So in the spring, in the beginning of the year near Imbolc, the opposite holy day or Sabbath, we asked you about spring cleaning. And we said, what do you want to clear out so things can grow? And what do you want to make changes for in your life to have room to breathe and accept the light and all that kind of stuff? So now is a perfect time to create sanctuary.
Oh, no.
Right? So maybe there's not much you can really do on a large scale. But there's certainly something you can do to produce comfort for yourself for this survival or darker time of the year. Maybe it's just something very small that doesn't cost a lot of money. Maybe you're going to get all new bedding. Right?
That may not be cheap.
Well, okay.
But yeah, I
or
know what
maybe
you mean.
you're going to go out of your way to clean and mend and
sort your laundry closet out or whatever, your linen closet.
No. I'm talking about the actual physical place your body sleeps. Right? If you can't afford all new bedding, maybe you're just going to get a new pillow. Something that creates sanctuary space. Right? So it could be a room. It could be, if you spend a ton of time commuting, maybe it's something that you do for your car to create sanctuary
your
space.
safe space. Make your safe space.
Make your place for that hibernation. I'm not saying don't be social. I want you to be social, and I think it's really, really important with all that we've been through that we don't become antisocial.
True.
I'm saying, though, to get yourself a sanctuary space. A desk where you can write if that's your gig. A bed where you can feel really comfortable and get good rest if that's something you need. A room that you can redesign or transform. Again, maybe it's your car. Maybe it's just
but it's your space.
Right.
It's a space for you.
Furniture throw or something that you're going to cuddle up in on the sofa over the winter.
Or a little reading nook or something
just,
like that.
Something that's going to keep you comforted during this gray into the dark time. Because nature goes into itself this time of year, and we as participants and people on this planet in nature, even though we've kind of turned ourselves around so that we
do it all backwards almost,
right, because
don't we?
usually in the summer you would be working your butt off
so you get through
so
the
that
winter.
you get a harvest to survive. And in the winter, you wouldn't be having Thanksgiving and Yule and holidays
strawberries
and
at Christmas.
tons of gatherings and, mass consumption. We have it kind of backwards.
Don't
But
we?
I'm saying that's all kind of superficial man-made surface stuff. I'm talking about the connected to nature stuff, where it is time to go within, time to look at the hidden, the psyche, the soul, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So if you can be prepared, it's always a better experience, right? If you say, okay, these were the seeds that I planted for myself at Ostara or Beltane. These were my intentions. This is what I wanted to accomplish this year. This is what I wanted to feel good about. This is what I do for myself or work towards, push forward, whatever. And now you're coming to that time where you kind of evaluate, well, I had these successes and I had these failures, because we all know with planting or gardening, some crops are going to do really well. Some of your intentions are going to go very smoothly, and some crops not so
much.
good. They get attacked by something, and some of your intentions get foiled. But think about it and give yourself that little bit of reward for whatever positive steps you did take, or whatever victories you did have, or whatever you can harvest. Give yourself that reward of intention. And then, think about it on an individual scale. What are you going to do to create comfort for yourself, a sanctuary? What could you do maybe within your family or community if you have more stamina and better means? How can you inspire or help others to feel that sanctuary? And right in the corner where you are, maybe there's something that you can do to spread the word about something positive, or just prepare yourself and make a place for those seeds of potential or the child of promise to seek sanctuary and survival over the winter. So that's my spiel for today.
Fascinating.
A little bit of food for thought.
Well, it is, isn't it? But I think there's something, living in sync, as you said, living in harmony with nature, naturally honouring the cycles, and it's so interesting, because we've been very much focused on growing things this year. We're start of for want of a better word, gardenodla, our sanctuary garden, and we put a lot of time into that, and not everything's worked out, but this is our learning experience.
Right, we lost all our squash to squash beetles. They're
Buggers.
evil.
Yeah, not good. But
the chickens enjoyed the squash with the beetle larvae.
With the beetle larvae in them, yeah, they have, our chickens have feasted well, but us not so much. But the thing is, though, this is like it's really fascinating, because the very first thing you do, you think about how, if we wind the clock back thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and where we are transitioning from being nomadic hunter-gatherers, so to speak, into more like an agricultural civilization-based thing, and where we start to work, we're less nomadic, and we start to build these like towns or hill forts or whatever. Somebody started looking up to the heavens and started to observe and started to say, oh, well, if you can see that, this is going to happen, because we learn. And it's really fascinating that it's almost gone full circle now. And all the rage is permaculture. This is what it is. It's about getting back into harmony with nature and permaculture. And the very, very first step of permaculture is observation. observation.
Where is the light the strongest? Where does the water flow to? Where can you harness some of that energy?
Exactly. And I think
same thing for yourself.
And this is what we try to teach in the craft. And shameless plug, we've got a new Craft of the Wise course starting.
2 in October.
2 in October.
We're going to do 1 in person only and 1 on Zoom only. So if you live nearby, you can come. And if you don't live nearby, you can do it on Zoom.
This gives us the ability, just going slightly tangential, to tailor it perfectly for the people who are attending, be it online or be it in person. It's not a compromise, you know. It's like we can do absolutely the best we can for both. So we're going to do 2 separate courses rather than put it all together, which I think is a good thing. Anyway, so one of the things that we teach, one of the is to observe, to look at things, to look within and without, you know, and see how your rhythms, your natural body rhythms, your energy, the way you feel is affected by, you know, what's going on around you as well. You know, that as within, so without.
As above, so below. You know, I had mentioned gray skies, but I want you to think about that. When the light is reborn at Yule, we learn that that's the longest night and then the days are getting shorter.
Right.
And even though it's still very cold near Gwalfred, Gwalmere, Imbolc, the light has changed.
Oh, noticeably this year. Right? I really noticed that.
And then we move forward to Ostara, Alban Isler, and there's enough light that birds start laying eggs. And then we move forward to Beltane, and the days are truly getting longer, and we're really moving outside and becoming more active. And then you have the sun's peak of power, the fruit harvest, and now we come to Gwal Aust, and you can start to see the sun tiring because the sun is going to be retiring. And you think about and those skies are a much different feel this time of year than they are.
Autumnal skies from spring.
So watery, wet, and different than you know, April showers.
It is, isn't it? And there's also a very different kind of, because the Earth has been heated all through the summer, you know, and this year has been the hottest on record, I think, globally.
Yeah, the coolest of the rest of our life.
Yeah, it is heated up the Earth, and you get this, you know, radiation of heat from the planet itself,
so
which kicks off different
categories
weather.
Of hurricanes are going to be quite
different weather patterns. Exactly. So you know, the thunderstorms are far more common at this time of year than they are at the beginning of the year. You know.
I'm telling you, when you look out in nature, I really wonder what this winter is going to be. Our rowan tree, I've never seen so many berries.
Covered with berries.
And he was cleaning up the side yard. He has a wheelbarrow full of pine cones. I mean, this is just a little crazy.
And I haven't picked them all up. I'm tired of turning an ankle every time I try to mow because there's like pine cones everywhere. So yeah, so I really need to get the rake and do that. But you know, when I get myself cloned.
Now, before I forget, if you live locally,
yes.
Wednesday night is our Witches' Tea Party. It's $5 per person, and this Wednesday, Rogan is going to work with people to explore pendulum power.
Ooh, that could be good.
I always like to try to tell people what's up going on.
Yeah, it's a suggested donation of $5. If you want to donate more, that's fine.
And then
we'll gladly accept it.
Next Thursday, so I'll talk about it again on Monday. If anybody took our Reiki course and they are already level 1, but they didn't go on to level 2, next Tuesday we start level 2 again. But that would only be open to people in our lineage. You couldn't just jump in from somewhere else.
Right, you have to be in the lineage.
But I want to talk about that. All right. I think we'll start pulling some cards.
Well, hang fire a minute. We've got oodles of time. I want to go back to really starting to observe, you know, what's going on.
Oh, right.
Shadows. The shadows is the one thing for me. And I remarked, and I'm sure if you guys just want to go check this out and go back to, you know, episode what it would be of this year. 5 or 6, something like that. Would it have been?
I have no idea where you're going.
Because we remarked, so we were on the way in, and we noticed that the light had changed as we went past. Gwilfraid.
So that would have been like episode 5 or 6, probably.
Yeah, 5 or 6, something like that. So, but it was noticeable. The light comes back at you.
Mm-hmm. But you don't see.
You don't really, see
because it's
that.
Still dark and cold, and you have to get through January.
But something happened, and it's interesting because we marked, because we talked about Candlemas and the passing of the light. This is what people do, this Candlemas thing,
to symbolically grow the energy.
But it is noticeable at this stage. If you observe, if you look, you will see that the light has markedly changed. But again, as we now, because Gwil Aust is actually now the beginning of fall. It's astronomically the beginning of fall. It's the cross quarter, between the...
Right, because Mabon is Muggle fall.
Yeah.
But it's mid-fall for us because...
It's the peak of fall, isn't it? It's the height of it.
Calangaev starts winter, doesn't it?
Yeah, the beginning of winter. That's what it means. Literally that. So, the calends of winter. So that midpoint, if you like, you notice a change in the light. And there is a marked change in the light about now. You'll start to see the light start to noticeably... And the sunset comes earlier and it's darker in the mornings, and you're going to start to see that. You don't see that for quite a while after we've gone past Midsummer's Day. We don't.
Right, you've got those. That 6 weeks is your hoorah.
It's just, well, hi, and it's all good. But when we get to Gwil Aust, there is that noticeable. So we're just saying, look, look around you. Look at how the shadows. Look to how the as above, the light coming down, is mirrored in how the plants, the vegetation, are responding to that.
So where are you going to rest, and how are you going to create sanctuary?
Yeah, because it's I just love this path. I just love the fact that it is. We learn about the nature of nature, and if you stop trying, you will never beat nature. You can't, win. You can't win an earthquake.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? You can't, so if you work and live in harmony with nature, you will find that your life is so much easier, because you're not trying to do battle with something, which you are destined never to win. So it becomes the permaculture in ourselves almost, where we make that we exercise the practice of living in harmony with nature, and it's a wonderful thing. It's just, I don't know, somehow I feel very connected to. I have, honestly, Lisa will tell you, I have no green thumbs. I'm not much of a gardener. I can push a mower, and that's about it.
But really. You're really loving the garden.
I'm loving it. And the excitement just to see. All of our fruit crops are really sort of coming in now. In terms of the tomatoes and the peppers, these are really starting to. And we're going to have a lot of them.
Provided something doesn't get to them before us, because we've had the groundhog eating our beans and peas. We've had the squash beetle get all of our...
And our peaches, the bugger.
And the groundhog knocked the peach trees over. We had 11 peaches, and they took them all.
I don't know. We may start eating groundhog at this point. So it's true though. But yeah, no, this is a learning experience for us.
We'll grind them and feed them to the chickens.
Ooh, I like that.
I'm not sure he's organic.
Oh God! Well, if he's eating our food, he is. But the thing is, yesterday I actually made a curry from everything we grew in our garden.
We had to buy an onion.
With the sole exception of the onion, because our onions aren't ready yet. They'll be a while yet. But it felt so amazing, and I got to tell you, it tastes fantastic.
I think it's the labor of love makes it taste.
Well, it just, there's something. The Roma tomatoes they were just superb. I don't know. I just love it. I love it. So I am loving the idea of this whole kind of
Kitchen
forage
garden and
for your own breakfast or whatever. I made an omelette the other day with eggs from our own hens and our peppers and tomatoes and stuff like that.
our woodchuck is fat this year.
Yeah.
Hannah was telling me that when she did her cornbread for Gwael-oust, she made the sacrifice and she looked out and I said, I think we know why they call them hogs.
Yeah. Nom nom nom.
Woodchuck, groundhog.
Nom nom
Yeah,
nom.
our woodchuck's not small either.
I bet he's the little bugger we saved. We've got his head stuck underneath our ramp at one point. We had to get a.
One morning we heard the strangest kind of
Screaming.
screamy sound, and a baby woodchuck has stuck his head in between the ramp and the railing.
The bottom of the railing,
and we had to release him.
You had to get a spade and lever the railing up to actually get him out.
Gus has doubled in size. Carol's family
Carol.
has a semi-pet woodchuck that they rescued.
You need to put Carol on the list.
That they rescued, who lived inside for a while, so he still tries to go up indoors. But he hibernates over the winter.
I don't know if you can domesticate groundhogs.
Well, apparently he kind of.
I know raccoons make wonderful pets.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh dear.
Anyway,
Wick
yeah.
has dropped. I need to pull that up. Let me get.
Here, I'll just do this. Watch. Ta-da.
Oh, you pulled that
Pour the
right
wax
over your
out.
hand.
That's okay. And then we just light it again with less wax in the thing, and it'll light.
Okay.
See, crisis averted.
I was just gonna
Ta-da.
use my pocket knife and lift the wick.
Well, the wick is still up. It's just there's too much wax pooled there. It hasn't run out. You could run it out that side too.
Oh no.
There you go. You're the water rabbit.
Carol says not at all. Well, you can't domesticate them.
No.
Probably not.
Not at all. No, he's still a wild animal no matter what you do.
I guess. I don't know.
All right.
And we have Bunny Frou Frou putting in an appearance.
Oh, eating the tops of our celery and carrots. And
Yeah,
it's just like all these
it's just...
tormentors.
It is.
Garden tormentors.
We should have plenty. We should have plenty though. That's the thing.
All
That's
right.
getting there.
So
all right, who we
Sean
got?
is first.
Oh, all right then. So hello, Sean. Let's see what you got today. Oh, that doesn't suck. King of Pentacles. It's actually a really nice card. Let me have a ponder for a second. There's a very strong Taurian energy in this card. So I think, whatever you do, do it with class. Do it with grace. I've got the word grace here. Be graceful, I think. I think, Sean, you're a smart cookie. And the unfortunate thing about being a smart cookie is most people you meet perhaps aren't quite as smart as you. And so you find yourself surrounded by... Why am I surrounded by idiots?
Dear.
But what I'm trying to say is, if people are like frustrating you a little bit, try to be a little more gracious and yeah, it's obvious. Why don't you get it? No, it's not obvious to them, and no, they don't get it. So I think that's the only thing I would say. But this is actually a really good card. I don't know, go on, you throw in your 2 cents.
I feel like there's some sort of financial opportunity here that you might have to put up a little money up front or some sort of investment of time or effort up front. But whatever it is you're focusing on and putting that investment of energy into is going to pay out well.
I love the scepter here with that huge reservoir.
His foot on a hog. That's
and
kind
it's
of cool.
yeah, that's kind of interesting. But it's maybe it's the groundhog. No, he's
Savannah
actually.
says that she imagines they'd be quite cuddly if they were domesticated.
I got big sharp teeth. I think. I don't know. You think cats do a number
Well,
on your
cats have
furniture?
claws, yeah.
So do groundhogs.
Oh, dear.
They
Anyway.
can dig. Yeah. So anyway, I think be gracious, and yes, I would concur that this actually does indicate, a good opportunity for financial improvement. It's not a bad
All right.
card in that respect.
So, Cass.
Right.
It's this one.
The leaves look alive on the card. It's very much alive, yeah.
So do toddlers. Have claws, yes.
Have claws? Oh no.
All right, so this is for Cass. To me, this is some sort of minor legal thing going on. I don't know if it has to do with insurance or car insurance, or I'm not suggesting you're having an accident. Don't go there. But I feel like there's some sort of minor legal thing being taken care of, like some kind of documents being signed, or some sort of, in a way, preparation, where you're going to feel a little bit of a weight lifted off now that that's settled or put to bed.
Yeah, this again, this is, to me, this is, whenever I see this card, this is my King of Solomon card, me personally. And his claim to fame was two women arguing about whose child it was, and they came before his court, and he said, fine, cut the child in two, give them half each. And the woman goes, oh no, don't harm the child, just let her have him. He said, you'd be the real mother. You get the baby. Excuse me. And everyone, oh, well played, sir, golf clap, wonderful job, But what I think this was, really, when we dig a little deeper, he had to embrace his dark side to force an issue a little bit.
To bring balance.
To bring balance, to say, here's something that is so horrible, you wouldn't want to go there. And that resolved it. So sometimes this may be about, this is not okay, you need to comply with this, and I'm not for backing down there. And so it could be resolution of conflict, or, as you say, a minor legal matter, but it's something that just do what is right. I think that's the important thing here. Do what is right.
Anna.
All right.
Juggling.
Look at that. Crazy time. Gotta love it. Up on one foot, whole crazy topsy-turvy world behind you, and we've got this infinite loop of juggle. But notice the hat. The hat says, hey, look at me. I can do this. So I think there's part of you, curiously enough, almost thrives on chaos. And and it's kind of cool, because you can do it. You can hack it. You can put all the plates on sticks, So yeah, it's okay. But I think, if you go back and...
Cass says, thanks, I like Sean's reading too. Well, yes, we know that when whoever's gathered, these cards can speak to everyone listening, really. Although we are trying to focus on the one person whose reading it is, many times what we say kind of spills over into the energy of the...
There's like a collective zeitgeist almost, isn't there? When the clan gathers together, there's an energy there, and I think this comes. So yeah, this is finding balance almost in chaos. But it wouldn't hurt to have a bit more strategic planning and be a little less reactive, perhaps. Less tactics, more strategy, I think might help. But you got it,
Well, this to me is the minor arcana magician. So I feel like you're embarking on something where some things are the old things that you know how to take care of. Not that they don't need any attention, but many of them by now are kind of on their autopilot. You been there, done that, got the t-shirt, you know, they're not going to trick you because they're on their own kind of cycle. They're just, you don't have to look at them and they're going to keep going. But I feel like there's something you're expanding towards, or something you're working on now, that kind of makes you hop to it a little bit. That you think, oh, well, it's a damn good thing these things are on autopilot, because in order to keep this from falling, I really do have to pay attention to it. So there is a little bit of a split focus, but there's nothing to be worried about because you have that, that big life experience all tucked up in your hat there.
So there. Tell your friends. Shuffle them up some more.
You shuffle them.
I can't shuffle. I throw them to the floor.
Sad says, I'm not happy if I'm not overbooked. Well, that's how it goes. You don't want boredom.
May you live in interesting times.
Because
Yes.
Gilda's next. And
I think that's a kind of strange curse.
I think I go first for Gilda.
All right, then.
All right, folks. Oh, Gilda. You got this. This person has no problem carrying all these burdens. Like all this stuff they have for other people, work, children, all these things. And they're not broken yet. And they're almost to the destination where I think these sticks are going to be delivered, because a 10 is a 1, and new beginnings are going to start. I think the biggest challenge is to remember how to stand up straight after you've been bent over for so long. So I think sanctuary is really important for you to find that place of comfort.
I agree. I think the promise of the downtime when you arrive and actually put your load down, And I don't know why, but you must have seen The Princess Bride, with, is it Enrico Montoya? You killed my father, prepare to die. And then finally when, the deed is done, he says, I spent my entire life in the revenge business. I don't know what I'm going to do now. And it's almost like you've spent so long being so much to so many people. You almost don't know how to, just relax.
Or serve yourself.
Or serve yourself, or find that. So I think, finding for you particularly that place of peace and power, it may lie within you, to be perfectly honest. I mean, you may not have to go anywhere. You can build your sanctuary within.
Right, and I want to point out, Gilda, that I said you're going to deliver the sticks. This isn't just like laying my burdens down and giving up. This is making the delivery to have a fresh start.
Mission accomplished.
I want to point that out because I didn't think I made that clear enough.
I do think, it's kind of cool. It's because you can do so much. You have such incredible capability. But it's okay to have that downtime, that for you, me time. Bit of me time would be good for you.
All right, Savannah.
All right, then. Oh. See, you mentioned toddlers.
The ultimate mother here, yeah.
Well, this really is, but also I love this card because this is so apt for the oust time of year,
harvesting,
the corn at harvest, and we've got the millstone, and the miller swore he'd serve him worst of all. He'd put a stone upon his head, and grind him till he's dead. But yeah, so the Empress does remind us, of life in death and death in life, the fruit upon the trees and the corn harvest, he who gives himself so that others can live. We've got all this going on in this card, but she herself is the epitome of bringing forth life. I mean, she is without doubt that which brings forth life. And I love this. This is the card we've been working on of late in our deck. And we have gone off into the weeds on this one. Believe me. Well, not into the weeds really.
Yeah,
it's the
we've cleaned up the weeds.
Yeah, and I don't know. I really feel that there's This is. Go on. You carry on. I'll shut up now.
All right. So
just start wittering. Otherwise.
Obviously, this is the ultimate mother. I know that you're Taurus, so Venus is your ruling planet. I don't know why I want to say this, but I feel like I'm going to go there. I want to say, you guys know by now that I'm not a prepper, but many of you know that I research a lot of things, and I try to keep aware of things.
Painfully aware.
And I feel that for you, Savannah, I know you're into like pampered chef and things like that. And I feel like your sanctuary or your inspiration sometimes comes from providing great meals and food and camaraderie and traditions for your family. So in the research that has come across my screen recently, and I'm not trying to cause any panic buying here or anything like that, are that the world is really upside down and crazy. We know we've had weather changes, we've had a lot of distractions and horrible things going on.
Global conflict.
And we may find ourselves over this winter in a place where we don't have readily available things that we'd like to have. For example, flour. So if you bake breads or bake cookies or are really into something in family tradition over the winter that involves flour, you might want to buy your flour sooner rather than later, because it may be in short supply, or it may become so expensive that it kind of overtakes other things.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
So that's because of
supply
Ukraine,
and demand.
breadbasket Ukraine. Rice, if part of what you love to have on your table is rice, Thailand and is going to try to take up the slack, but India is going to stop exporting rice because of environmental disasters.
They've had some stupid
So they want to
weather
keep
in India.
the price of food in India at a reasonable price, so they're not
the
going
most
to.
populous nation on earth.
They're not
India.
going to export rice over the winter, so you might want to do that. And the other thing that we've had a lot of issue with is Florida.
With the oranges.
So oranges and sugar. So if you you can't really store oranges, but you could do like orange juice from concentrate if that's something you want to have on hand for, Christmas morning mimosas.
Okay, whatever.
But I'm just saying, like, I feel like this is all part of what's happening, right? I said, there's things going on with us internally, in our community, in our country, and globally, with this Pluto T-square that I talked about last week. So if there are things, Savannah, that are so important to you to provide for traditions, now is the time for you to think, okay, I'm going to need X amount of flour, X amount of sugar. I want to have some rice on hand, whatever that is. I'm not saying panic buy and go crazy, but the flour and the sugar, I think you're going to find are going to get ridiculously overpriced or not able to meet demand.
She says that is so true. My daughter and I have been talking a lot about learning to harvest, forage, and also can. Maybe this is the time. It is absolutely the time. We also do mostly gluten-free due to her celiac.
Okay, well then that's
so
fine,
good
but
to know.
I just
But
feel
yeah,
like
no.
there's something going on with all of us where not, oh my God, I'm in a panic and I'm going to starve to death. I'm not talking about that, but I'm saying, why not be aware and be smart, you know? So we don't have to pay $50 for 5 pounds of flour.
We are crazily spoilt in this country, is that, there are some people, definitely, and this shouldn't be the case, that suffer from food insecurity in this country.
Mm-hmm.
But my heart goes out to, because of that senseless conflict in Russia and Ukraine, that they've most of Ukraine's export of flour goes to like the African subcontinent.
Oh yeah, that's world.
And there will be people
starving from it.
who
Yeah.
can perpetuate famine from that.
I go first for Helena.
So sad.
The rice is really big though. Yeah. So, just think about, all right, I want rice from now until March. 6 months of rice or whatever. How many pounds do I want to get? and just buy double for a few weeks or something. Again, I'm not a prepper, I'm not a panic buyer, anything like that. I'm just saying sometimes forewarned is forearmed, and if you could save yourself that expense of having to drive to 12 grocery stores to whatever,
Yeah.
All right. Helena Rose, you will keep your head above water. I want to say to you, things are going to be way better than you expect, because I think you have become painfully aware and ultra diligent about things, right? So I don't think they can fool you or distract you anymore. I think you're going to keep them all at bay. And I also feel like something very positive is going on with you financially, because this character's dressed in green.
Yeah, and I would say so. You are capable of doing the whack-a-mole thing, and being very reactive and staying on top of things. But this person literally towers over the landscape. So the problems are much smaller than them, and they've got them. They can deal with it. Using both ends of the stick, no problem at all. Whatever needs to happen. But it's really interesting if you look closely at the feet here. The back foot's the boot, and the forward leg here is a shoe. So this tends to indicate to me this is you're moving into an improvement in status here. This is actually, if you're prepared to react quickly, and you might not have a lot of time to ponder. I see there's quite an elevated position for you here. So there you go.
All right, new pull for Carol.
For Carol? Oh, am I worthy of reading Carol? Bloody hell, this is a good card. Lots going on, very busy. It's almost, we remarked, at the start of the show, just how the weeks are going by like days, and the
months are going by like weeks, and
exactly.
It's going to be the end of the year before we turn around.
So things are flying. But this is a hugely good card. I love this. I know enough Feng Shui to be moderately dangerous. I'm by far a Feng Shui master, but a house on a hill with a river running past is an extraordinarily good omen. And this actually has a weir in the river as well. So this is like a real sort of, this is a place where you can get all of your sustenance, that you are well supported here. By your environment, by your location where you actually are, you've got it all, and this also can be indicative of energetic flow. So I think you're going to find yourself. This may sound really strange as we move into the fall. I think you're going to get your energy back.
Oh yeah, I was definitely going to say it's making up for lost time. Isn't it?
Very much so. I think you'll be very inspired again, because I think things have been a little hard earlier on in the year for you. I know you had that issue you had to deal with, which knocked you off your feet a little bit too. But I think you're well and truly on the mend now, and you've got a lot of energy. It's a very good card.
Swift action.
Yeah.
And many times it does have to do with getting things done around the house. But I really feel like this for you is it's an 8, and I feel like it is connected to the turning of the wheel, and the cycles and things like that, and some sort of cleansing, that water running by. But it almost feels like a making up for lost time. In other words, while everything was flying by, it didn't just get by you. You pondered it, thought about it, remarked about it, made notes about it, and now I feel like you're going back through a checklist of some sort and just knocking them off and getting where you want to be. So there is some sort of movement forward towards the things that you want to have happen.
So there. Now,
card of the week.
You should do that.
Yes, wonderful. I am well-rounded. Yes, she is.
I'm well-rounded.
Card of the week, peeps.
Rounds the shape.
Card of the week.
Oh, hello. That's quite nice.
Oh.
I quite like that.
Boop, boop.
2 of Wands, in case you're wondering.
Oh.
Don't set fire to the card.
I think this is a week of exploration and awareness. You know, sometimes the best way we can understand something we don't understand is by changing our perspective. So have a think about that. How am I looking at this? And if I change the way I'm coming at this problem, season, sanctuary, whatever, if I change where I'm coming from, change my perspective, what would I discover?
I love this. I want to say, have you actually thought about what thoughts are made of? Because this is like really, and it's interesting that we're talking about introspection going within now, but I think this is a time for pondering and from learning from, you know, did you get your harvest or was it a learning experience? You know, what can you glean from what experience you've had? A wand card.
A wand card, yes.
A wand card, yes. So this is, you know, we've got one grounded out, we've got one still up in the air. Ostensibly, we've got the whole world in our hands here, and there's still, you know, unrealized potential with the ploughed field down there in the shot. But there's much can be learned. You know, we continue to learn.
If you don't learn
and
and make a plan, you're not gonna survive. You got to make a plan, even if the plan gets readjusted as you go. You know?
It will. It's one of the truisms of life, isn't it? No plan survives contact with the enemy. So it's like expect to change your plan, but do have a plan and do apply the wisdom that we've learned, which is what we're talking about. What have you Observed? What have you observed? And then, you know, you join the dots, don't you? That's what you do. You don't just, you know, sail on blindly in blissful ignorance. You know, this what I love about the craft is it's the thinking person's religion, for want of a better word, the thinking person's spirituality, because it does require you to think. It does require you to.
And I'm going to say one last thing about sanctuary. If you can't make physical changes, if you're in a place where you're not able to financially, or circumstances are beyond your control and you can't make the changes that you want to make in the physical, this is a great time for you to do mind meditation work and create a sanctuary space in your mind.
Absolutely.
Right? Start with a blank room, and what are you going to put in there? The most comfortable sofa and the biggest cuddly blanket and a fireplace, whatever else talks to you. Create this sanctuary space in your mind where you can go for comfort. So it doesn't have to be an expensive thing or a big change. If that's not, you know, on the books right now, I get it. But at least create a sanctuary place for yourself in your mind so you can take that deep breath and find comfort.
Yeah. I mean, that internal place of peace and power is your sanctuary. And it's nice because it's accessible at any time, anywhere. You know, you can just go there. You can just nip into other for a couple of seconds, you know.
Well, Gilda, there's something to be said for freedom. Her youngest started school. I know, it's time flies.
Oh, he's starting school now,
They live out west.
Oh, well, okay.
All right.
I was going to say, oh well, there you go, freedom. You got some time
All right,
for you.
People, I'm sure that this week will go by very quickly, and we will be here again
Well,
before you know
look at the
it.
time. That was an hour, and didn't we just start 5 seconds ago?
I know, it's just crazy.
I don't know.
Deep breathing helps.
Oh, absolutely.
Slow down those anxious thoughts. Exactly.
Exactly.
Don't allow them in the sanctuary space.
Yep. No, your sanctuary space is for you and you alone, and nobody can invade upon your sanctuary
Unless you allow them to.
Yeah.
What do you got here?
Just people saying thank you and all that fun stuff, and you know.
Thank you for another wonderful Magical Monday. It really makes the week better. Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming, and thank you for liking our page and making comments.
Smash that like button, please, people. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now.
All right. And,
all right, guys.
Thank you, Great Ones, for the inspirations for today.
Yeah. Gosh, I gotta go put another hat on now and something.
Public access television.
It's all fun though, isn't it? It's all good stuff. But yeah, thank you. So I guess we'll shut up. Don't forget, join us for tea if you're able. Come on Wednesday. Rogan's going to be throwing pendulums around and all that fun stuff.
In 3 weeks, we'll also be having free Reiki by donation.
Yes.
So our level 2 interns will need people to work on to get their masters. So.
Yeah, I love that. I love the cattle call. Oh, when are you doing your Reiki? When are you
Come on down.
Good stuff. Excellent. All right, guys.
It's a great service to give them bodies.
It is.
All right. Well, we'll talk more about it as we get closer.
We certainly will.
Peace and blessed be. Have a great week.
Blessed be. Take care.
Brightest blessings for Gwal Oust.
Bye.